Here we are. This is time-lapse drawing a Toyota 2000 GT, lesson 1. And I chose this car because I have a couple friends who race vintage cars. And in the time that these cars were new, they actually raced them for the factory and still do. So I, uh, I thought it was kind of neat to honor them. And it is such a beautiful car anyway. From what I read a report the other day, this is one of the very, very few Japanese cars of any age that is likely to sell for $1 million or so if put up for auction. So it's a very unique car, quite pretty. At the time, very competitive in the 2000 liter class, 2000 cc class, 2 liter class, and extremely fast, tight handling car. And it was kind of revolutionary for what it was at the time when most of the Japanese cars were, kind of econo boxes and square and ugly and all that. This is a real honest to goodness GT car. And at the time it was quite a large engine for Japan too, where commonly we would see 1500 cc engines or 1000 cc engines even. And here they had something with 2 full liters in it, which was pretty good size. But it's a unique looking car too. If you compare it to the Ferrari 250 GTO that we did not too long back, it looks kind of similar in this view to it. The proportions of top to bottom and length are very close. It's a little bit smaller version, of course, because that was a 3 liter car and this is a 2 liter car. But the same thing holds true, is that the proportions of the car are very similar, even though this one's a little bit smaller. And this was raced very effectively by Toyota and their racing teams, and brought a lot of honor to them. Won many events within their class, and they were able to play with cars that had larger engines and kind of embarrass them too. So just goes to show that having the largest engine isn't always the answer. Sometimes the best road holding and combination of lightness with good handling can be a real revelation to those people who think that you have to have 300 cubic inches before the car will start to move. The design of this car is very slippery too. It kind of looks like a cross between that 250 GTO that we mentioned, and in the front of it, it kind of looks like a Ferrari Daytona too, the way the front end has sort of a crease right in the middle of it. And it's just an intriguing looking car. Great design. I really do love to see them out when they take them out to the vintage events and such, and see pictures of them running, because they're a very, very interesting car. I don't remember which James Bond movie it was, but they took one of these cars and made it into a convertible for a James Bond movie, and it did quite a bit to cement the reputation of them as having really interesting GT cars, and of course Bond's cachet rubbed off on them, and everybody thought more of the car at the time because of it, which is great advertising. I'm guessing they paid a lot of money for that, but it was certainly well worth it. Anyway, I'm doing what I usually do on these. I'm trying to put in the darker areas first, and that gives me an idea of where I'm going to go with it. Most of this car is white, so I'm going to put a background behind it in order to show off the white, rather than doing a red or a black car and then trying to tone it down for the mid-tones. But in this case, with most of the car except for the hood, which is blue, most of the car is white, so I have to put something behind it that'll show that off. And what I'm going to do is put something that looked kind of like vegetation behind it. But that'll work out okay. I'm just doing the grill now, and those sections to the sides of each one, looks like a mesh or something like in there. I'm not sure if it's actually blanked off or mesh, but it's dark on the photograph that I have, and I couldn't really make out what it was. So I'm just trying to figure out the various dark values that we have and then from there we'll be able to work the blue against it of the hood and the other parts underneath it, which is the ones that are really cast in heavy shadow. But it's coming along just fine so far. It's going to be a really pretty car, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow. We'll put quite a bit more ink on it, and it's my birthday too, so I'm going to go to a party tomorrow night, but I have to get all this done before I go. But I'm way old, and I have to celebrate every birthday. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.